Do you like making friendship bracelets? I love making friendship bracelets. I used to be a Girl Scout, and that is what we would do when we went to Girl Scout camp is we would make friendship bracelets. And today we're going to make a very special friendship bracelet that we can give our friends for Valentine's Day or just because. And we're also going to use a really cool mathematical pattern called the Fibonacci sequence. So if you want to learn about a cool math pattern and make a really cool bracelet, stay tuned. Have you ever seen any of these patterns in nature? Take a look at some of these pictures. What do you notice about these patterns and what do you wonder? All of these are growing in kind of a spiral shape, and we are getting more as we go towards the outside. These pictures follow something that's called the golden ratio, and this is really closely related to the Fibonacci sequence, which is what we're going to talk about today. I am going to show you the Fibonacci sequence in numbers and with a picture. And what you are going to do is look at the information that I give you and see if you can figure out how our pattern is growing. So here is the Fibonacci sequence in numbers. And here it is with a picture of each number. I want you to pause this video and see if you can figure out how our pattern is growing. If you can't figure out how the pattern is growing, you can say what you notice about the numbers and how they are growing and what they have in common and what is different about them. Now that you have recorded your observations and what you noticed and what you wonder, let's talk about the Fibonacci sequence. So let's look at the numbers. We have a sequence that starts with 1, and then we have 1 again, and then 2, and then 3, but then we have 5. The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers where we add the previous two numbers to make the next number. So do you notice that when we add 1 plus 1, we get 2. When we add 2 plus 1, we get 3. When we add 3 plus 2, we get 5. When we add 5 plus 3, we get 8. When we add 8 plus 5, we get 13, and we just keep going. Adding the previous two numbers makes our pattern grow in a really interesting way. As you can see, if you kept going, and I encourage you to if you would like, you are going to be calculating with some really big numbers before you know it. See how many of numbers of the Fibonacci sequence that you can write beyond what we have on the screen. And when you're ready, we're going to do the craft. Today we're going to make a friendship bracelet using the Fibonacci sequence. So it's going to look a little bit different than the bracelets that people typically make with a very even pattern. And our bracelets are going to look like this, like I showed you at the beginning of the video. You are going to need multiple colors of embroidery floss, and it looks like this when you buy it at the craft store. I used 4 colors, but you can use as many as you want. And you're going to need some scissors to cut this string, and you're going to need a piece of tape. Gather all your materials and come back here because we're going to make these bracelets right now.
As you can see, I have my string here and I'm going to gather it up at the top and tie a knot. And if you have a hard time with this, you can get the help of an adult or someone else that's just really good at knots. And I am going to tape this to my workstation. So something flat, a desk, a clipboard, with a piece of tape. And then I'm going to start making my first knot. So you're going to see me put the string around my pointer finger and make what looks kind of like a 4. And I'm going to push that string up through the hole in the 4. And then that's going to make my first knot. And I'm going to pull it up towards the top. Then you're going to see me take the next color and make a knot in that color. And then I'm grabbing the next color and I'm going to make 2 knots with this color because we are doing the Fibonacci sequence. We're going to do that 1, 1, 2. And in the next color, I'm going to do 3 knots. And it's going to start speeding up as I go through the different numbers of the Fibonacci sequence. And I'm going to put them up on the screen here so you can see it just in case you are following along. I'm going to keep switching colors and go in the pattern that I started with as far as my colors, but I am changing the number of knots that I'm making based on the Fibonacci sequence. So I am going to start making more knots in each color as I go along. So you're going to see me in really super speedy mode do all of those colors and all of those knots. This took me actually a pretty long time.
Thank you for crafting with me today using the Fibonacci sequence. I love these bracelets, and I can't wait to hear about how yours turned out in the comments. I would specifically love to know what colors you chose to use. And if you would like to do a little bit more with your bracelet and attach it to a math Valentine for your friends and family, you can find a link to buy the math Valentines that I have created down below. I particularly would love to attach this to this Valentine that's in the pack about the golden ratio. And if you have a math teacher in your life, I know that they would really love that. So make sure that you like and subscribe and maybe even hit that notification button so that you never miss a STEAM activity video. See you next time.